Greetings, my name is Prabha, and in this video I'd like to give an overview of a hobby project of mine. It's a player assistant app for the board game China's War from GMT Games. The app is called Xiandi. You may be familiar with apps that are built for other games in the Coin series, Fire in the Lake, Red Dust Rebellion, and Gandhi. If you are, then you already know how to use this app. Xiandi is not a digital version of the game. It's a supplement to the physical board game. Xiandi will use the game's Sun Wukong non-player system to puppet those factions not being run by players. By only showing players valid options, it will speed up their turns. And it can assemble a card deck, or let you enter your own cards as you go. The goal was for the interface to fit on a phone or tablet of at least 5.4 inches. Okay, time for a demo. The first screen that we see on opening the app is this one. Up the top, you can see 3 tabs. This Play tab is where we drive from. The second tab shows the state of the board, and the third archives past turns. We'll look at each of them shortly. The setup action on the Play tab at the bottom takes us to this screen, where we toggle the faction that we're running and how the card deck will be built. Xiandi supports anywhere between 0 and 4 human players, and will run the remainder using Sun Wukong. So, whether you want to play solo running just one faction, or to play 4-handed solo, or you just need a non-player to round out your gaming group, Xiandi will prove handy. Let's choose to play the Japanese faction in the 1938 scenario, and to build our own card deck, entering the first 2 cards here. When we submit and accept our settings, the button now says Begin. We then proceed through the lines of communication setup phase. When prompted, we take our turn, dragging troops from provinces to LoCs. At this point, let's switch to the Board tab. What you see here is simply a listing of map spaces from the board, and the contents and status of each. You'll see the control and support status, whether there are terror or sabotage markers, and the forces present. Along the top are the values of the victory markers, resource markers, and commitment, patronage, foreign aid, and foreign aid reset. The 3 factions that are non-players in this session will not have their resource markers shown. Along the bottom are the eligibilities of each side, and any capabilities and momentum events in effect. Let's go back to the Play tab. Now the game has commenced. At the top you'll see both the current card and the next one to come. If I tap at the top right, I can view the events for the current and next cards. If I double tap, I can see persistent card effects. Since I set the first card as card number 35, and that has Japan as first eligible, it's my turn first up. I enter my move by choosing options from a series of drop-downs. I'm going to play an operation plus special activity. In this case, assault plus deploy. I will start by picking 2 spaces for deploy to place troops. Most operations, special activities and events work by navigating a series of drop-downs. The app will only show you valid options, streamlining the process of assembling your course of action. As I pick my actions, they go into a queue. I can undo any of this, or even go back and pick a different set of actions. For the assault operation in Xiandi, I have to pick which factions are being targeted. When I'm ready, I submit the queue. Assault and attack operations differ from other actions in that they have a second screen, where the forces targeted are chosen simply by tapping on them. In Xiandi, I have a choice of targets. The next screen shows my moves in a scrollable list, with operations and special activities color-coded. Each of those, in turn, are laid out as a series of single steps. At the end, any victory markers that change during the turn are listed. I can work through this list and update the board. When my turn is over, I press next turn, and the next faction has its turn. Here, it's run an event. All factions can run both types of card events. You'll see the event title at the top as a newspaper headline. Now it's time to enter the next card in my hand-built card deck. Having run a few turns, let's have a look at the other tabs. The Past tab stores screen displays from past turns. It opens on the most recent turn, and we can swipe through to earlier turns. If you want to report an issue, move to the screen where it occurs and press Report Bug. This will open up your email program with a game snapshot and no personal information. Then just send the email to me. If we revisit the Board tab, we can see that the map spaces involved in recent turns are up the top and in a lighter color. In addition, the top row of the Board tab will have the latest changes to its numbers highlighted in white. If you prefer, you can double tap on the board screen to sort the map spaces in a predictable sequence, organized by sector. There is a Slideout menu accessed from the icon at the top left. It contains notes, a link to this video, and options to restart or restore from a previous turn. The app autosaves after the first faction plays each new card. So if you want to take a break, that would be the point to do it. One more thing to point out is the way you deploy forces from the map. Let's say I'm the Japanese faction and I want to recruit new units, but I don't have enough available. I switch to the board screen and scroll across the map spaces. I long press those troops that I want to tag for redeployment. They will appear both in the Japan available space and in the tag space at the bottom. Physically, they are still in their original map spaces. I then switch back to the play screen and continue my recruit. The tag forces will show up in the drop-down, but only if I use them will they be moved from their current space to the recruit destination. If I don't use them, they stay put. The tags are cleared at the end of the turn. In conclusion, I hope this has been a useful overview on why Xiandi is worth checking out. Thanks for watching.